Do you wish to engage in combat? Let this be the perfect battle.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to War Thunder. My name is Adamir and I'm going to be your pilot for the day. Now today we're going to be doing a domination mission in Sicily in a replay because with my luck, like always, whenever I have a good match I'm never recording. So we've got the P-47 and I'm going to take it over to the 8 point to try and land and capture that super quick to give us a sort of advantage over the enemy team. And in proper fashion, I ruin the engine on my way down, capture the point, and hope that I have enough speed to get myself over back towards the point and repair. But of course I do not. So I crash into the ground, hope I don't rip my other wing so I can repair, but guess what I do? Yes, I ripped the other wing. So with a vehicle lost, I leave it and go for the next one. Now here I am in a B-17, and the idea here is because I do have a bomber, I might as well take out the ground units you can see right there. Now I line the shot up as best as I can and drop a couple of bombs. 1, 2. Just try to see where they land, you know, kind of follow them on their way down. And of course you can see I hit nothing. I quickly find out that I'm not really the type of person to bomb or to pilot a bomber because I'm not good at it whatsoever. Now I loop myself around after getting a bit of distance from the tanks to try and line up the shot with the reticle outside of bomb view. Drop a couple of bombs, 1, 2. And hope that those impact with something, but of course, you know, they don't in proper Adamir fashion. Now, being that I've grown slightly frustrated of flying this bomber, I try to turn it into a lawnmower and think if I'm a little bit closer to the tanks, maybe I'll have a better shot of killing something, you know? I mean, who knows? It is, if I could learn to speak, it is a viable tactic. So, when I get in close, drop a couple bombs, turn the camera angle around, and check this out. Boom, nothing. I hit absolutely nothing. Now, I see the B point off in a distance and a couple of pilots on the enemy team above me. I can't climb back up because then they'll shoot me. So I decide, after flailing with the camera position key, to try and take the B point. But since I set myself at a bad angle, I'm not able to do so without risking ripping my wings off. And at that point, my gunner decides to engage this F4U that's behind me, which is fine. I'd rather him engage something than do nothing, right? Drop a couple of bombs to try and scare that F4U off, but by the time I've let them go, it's way too late. So soon enough here, before I can even complete this loop, he's gonna rip my wings off. There we go. And I begin to hurtle my descent towards the ground. Yeah, I didn't do too well there. And I think the enemy tanks just managed to capture the C point. So double fail. I take out the P-63A-10, strapped with a couple of bombs attached to the underside of it, fly over the C point, and the idea here is to dive bomb onto the tanks and hopefully at least take 1 or 2 of them out. So, after the camera is done spazzing out like crazy, I line up the shot, try to wait for the reticle to get in a little bit closer, because I guess if you're up above 1 kilometer it becomes less accurate, which is fair. So I drop down 2 bombs, hope to hit 1 of them. There's 1, that one hit, so I loop myself around before I get taken out by the incoming enemy planes, and try to drop another one here quickly. There it goes, and there's 2 tanks. Now I can hear that there's a pilot behind me, so what I do is I try to loop around, well, not loop around, but circle around, give him a little bit of trouble to shoot me, and I think here I was staying still for a little too long and got pilot sniped. So there's that. With 1 zone captured, 2 grunt units destroyed, I'm not doing too well. Now you may be attentive enough to have noticed this already, but I have killed nothing with wings. It's not good for a fighter pilot to have no aerial victories. So I take out the F4U-1C, the star of the match, go for the A-20, but the A-20 is dead by the time I get there, so that's nice. The C point still has tanks over it, so I can't do anything about that. And I noticed that there's a chain forming of enemy planes tailing this P-51, so I think I'm going to give him a little bit of help, go after this P-39 since he's at the end of the chain, and work my way forward. Now that D-521 is attacking the Focke-Wulf 190, so I give him a little bit of trouble instead of the P-39, and there his wing goes. Thankfully the P-39 stayed out in front of me, so I'm going to go for him next. Couple shots, boom, there he goes, and I got the double strike achievement for that. Loop myself around to try and get myself into a better angle of attack, I suppose, for these pilots, but they're still a little far. So I turn myself around, see that we're already capturing the B point thanks to that F4U there, and the enemy bomber above us is already being engaged. So there's nothing else for me to do except for defending the B point, and we've got an enemy Spitfire here. It's already trying to recapture it, so I end his life relatively quickly. There he goes. Loop myself around. Now pay attention to that F-82 there, he's important. This BF-109 looks like as if he wants to follow his Spitfire friend and try and capture the point, give him a few shots and roll around, because I don't intend to stay in front of those cannons for long. Now I see that he's got two allied planes on top of him, so I go ahead and leave him alone. And that's when that F-82 decides it likes the left tip of my wing a lot, and decides to take it with him. Since I'm still airworthy, sort of, I give him a couple shots and make it a bit more difficult for him to shoot any more allied planes. Now being that I'm flying like a plane that's got two left wings, it's really difficult to actually shoot him. But I do manage to get a couple of hits in, get an assist for one of my allied planes there. There it is. So there's that. The IL-10 managed to stay there safely, and I intend to get back down to the sea point and repair this plane. So I try to loop myself around, albeit difficult because I am missing half of my left wing. Put the gear down, drop all the throttle, and I think at this point I open up the flaps, which should be a lot of fun. You know, asymmetric flap extensions, a whole lot of fun. Makes it difficult for the whole party. Now I don't know if you saw the BF-109 to the left of the screen, right there. There it is. Way on the left. That BF-109 is going to be coming in for me and this IL-10, and I don't want any of it. Thankfully, he gets taken down and I have nothing to worry about. In landing, I managed to flip myself over, thankfully not rip up the inner wing there, or the outer wing on the right wing, so all good. And I've got about 2 minutes before I end up repairing fully. But this BF-109 here somewhere decided that it had other plans for me, and I lose the vehicle. So now it's time for me to bring out my final plane, the P-51. So I was going to go in for this BF-109, but he's dead now. There's nothing there for me to do at this point. I can see that Focke-Wulf wanted to take the sea point. Unfortunately, he's dead before I get there, so I get nothing out of that. This A6M3 is also being engaged by a couple of allied planes. I decide to go for the sea point, but when I notice that they are already capturing it, I decide against it. Just to defend it instead at that point, since I'm already in the air. This A6M2 is my next target, but you guys can see that he's already being engaged by at least 3 pilots, and the F4U next, and he's going to make it 4. And that P-51 above him can spell trouble for everyone else nearby. So I decided to go for him instead. Lay in a couple of shots, and there goes his wing. This A6M2 was already down to 2 by the time I looped around, but I still got a couple of shots in. If they're black like that and you land in a couple of good hits, you can get the assist, which is good by me because I'd rather not steal the kill. And if I get an assist, a couple of extra points added on for a good shot or two, why not, you know? So being as how there's nothing left, this last Ki-61 is about to get decimated by these planes. But because they can't get him down to the ground fast enough, I end up getting the final blow achievement at the end of the match. So there you guys have it. Now you guys might see a couple of other planes here, like this P-61 you've seen before and the P-47. Now the P61 last time, I don't know if it was or not, but for whatever reason, it's not fully spaded anymore, but it's very close. All I've got to do is get the second set of bombs, and you guys will have another video on the P61, and soon enough on the P47 and 15 Thunderbolt as well. I just had to spade it out. As it is, you know, it's really difficult to fly the P47s because they're super heavy American planes. But hey, what can you do? So, that's all for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe if you really liked it. Thank you all so much for watching. Share the video if you want. Comment, let me know what you guys thought about it. And I bid you all a good rest of your day.